ready to hear some noise tonight. You're just seconds away from Let's Go Blues Radio.
No doubt about it, eh? You're listening to Curt, Bill, and Jeff on Let's Go Blues Radio, the original St. Louis Blues hockey fan podcast. Take it away, boys.
Come on, St. Louis hockey fans, stand up and cheer. The Blues are back strong. This is our year. It's the Blues' turn now.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
Yeah, it's the Blues' turn now. That Al McKinnon slap shot, you know we can't lose. We are St. Louis, the home of the Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Let's go Blues. Come on, St. Louis. Come on, St. Louis.
Let's do that hockey.
Come on, St. Louis. All over the hockey universe, the note is the news. Everybody's digging on the St. Louis Blues.
Welcome to Season 7, Episode 46 of Let's Go Blues Radio. We're broadcasting live on Tuesday, April 30th, 2019. This is franchise episode number 179 all time. Your hosts tonight are yours truly, Curt Price, Bill Day, and Jeff Ponder. We'll be with you for the next little while talking St. Louis Blues playoff hockey. It's my sexy radio voice. I did not do that on purpose. It kind of just phased into it. It's kind of weird. It creeped me out.
Hockey pillow talk with
Pillow
Curt
talk.
Price.
Delilah.
I'm gonna need to change my pants.
Talking Blues hockey, Blues playoff hockey in their first round matchup versus the Dallas Stars through the first 3 games of this series. To interact with us on social media, follow the show on Twitter at LGB Radio is the show's account. Mine is at Curt Price. Bill's is at Billy Blue Note. Jeff's is at JPonder94. Also follow us on Instagram, like us on Facebook, and the website is letsgoblues.com, where you can listen to past episodes, browse the discussion forum, as well as get some cool t-shirts, mugs, and stickers that you cannot find anywhere else. I forgot to mention, I didn't have it in the show notes here, but we launched a couple of new t-shirts in the shop, and pretty kind of cool. Looks crazy excited about it. It's I'd seen the they make me drink bottle note mashup thing before elsewhere, so kind of tweaked it and put it up. So that's I'm a big fan of that one. And then of course the oh my God, Becky. Look at his beard.
Love it.
Yeah.
Something tells me that could go viral for the wrong reasons.
Well, I was, I put it up initially as a ladies shirt, thinking that was the market for that. But then I had a request for a suggestion that, well, you know, the LGBTQ society may want to cash in on the men's version of that shirt. So, and the double entendre of beard. Right. Exactly. So, okay. So, I mean, it didn't cost anything more to put a men's one up. So I did. And we sold a couple already. So that we just put them up, launched them today. So that's pretty cool.
Looking good. Looking real good.
Yeah. Yeah. So check it out. There's a handful of shirts in there. Retire 44 and the, Checker Dome shirt, which I think is a pretty badass shirt. I normally wouldn't bother mentioning mundane details about the tech background crap of the show, but we had some of you may have tried to listen to the show over the past week and maybe didn't have the best luck in doing so because our podcast host, which this is totally out of our control, we host off site. I don't host the show here, or none of us do in our homes. No one does. That's not what you do. Podcast hosts are a thing and they're off site. And so ours had issues all week long. The past week straight has been, they've rarely been up. Short little windows where you can access stuff here and there, but 98% of the time it's been down. Right. So it's not just us, it's anyone who is hosted on that server, on their servers at Hipcast. I'll mention their name, Hipcast. They've been awful. And the communication's been wacky, goofy, stupid. They've said they've been back up and running half a dozen times, and they're not. So it also happened to Puck Podcast too. They're hosted there, and people have not been able to listen to their show either. So, but we're in the process of switching. So this week we're going to try and finalize that and get things migrated over. So
as are a lot of podcasts on Hipcast.
Oh,
They're losing a lot of business right now.
And rightfully so. I mean, this is. I mean, I kind of feel bad for them because I'm sure they're working hard to try and fix what's going wrong. But I mean, a week out, if there'd been a week outage is ridiculous. I can see a few hours, half a day, maybe even a day for like a major thing, but a week, that's ridiculous. I can't imagine what happened. Their building burned down. I don't know. So, but we're going back to the hosts we had when we first started 7 years ago, and they're rock solid, long time hosts. So, looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, let's give them a shout out. You mentioned that Hipcast is the one that we are leaving. We're going to Libsyn. For those of you who know anything of the ins and outs of podcasts, that's one that we never had any issues with, and I've spoken with the Puck Podcast and a couple other guys that have had issues with their podcast server the last week because they all have Hipcast. They are looking into Libsyn as well. So looks like Libsyn will be probably benefiting from Hipcast mistakes.
I'm sure. And I mean, I would like to say the Hipcast was great for a number of years. No real issues. And this year we've had, besides the last week, we've had a couple other issues too. I guess fairly minor compared to this, but this year's been not good for them. So whatever.
Yeah, you had mentioned the Puck Podcast guys. Eddie had to, the main host of the show, had to post a video apologizing because he had so many people messaging him like, dude, we can't hear this week's show. And obviously this is the biggest time for hockey podcasts is right now.
Yeah, it's the worst time for a hockey show.
Right.
It's awful.
Right. We've been so just absolutely out of our minds about how many downloads and how it seemed to be spiking. And this comes along and, completely subverts that, we apologize for your negative experience. It is out of our control.
Yeah. I feel weird apologizing. I apologize for Hipcast. It's just, but yeah, we had hit 5,500 listens in a single day, the day before it went down. And that was an all-time high for us. And so it was, we were rocking and rolling, but, so hopefully here soon we can get that, but at least folks can listen and watch our show on YouTube. I kind of steered people that way. If you want to listen to the show, you can. I mean, it's YouTube, it's listen mobile, wherever. I mean, it's available. It's out there. It's on our site. So, I mean, they could listen to it. So, and there was a bit of an uptick in views of their YouTube shows. So people were going there. Anyway.
So people probably saw us and they said either they had one of two reactions. Well, these guys are way attractive. I need to watch this every week. Or, holy shit, what is up with these three guys? I'm never watching or listening to the show again. Hoping for the first one.
Yeah. I'm excited about Libsyn. I'm pumped.
Me too.
Bill
is not.
I'm with you fellas.
The official beers of episode number 179. Jeff, let's go with you first this week if you don't if you want to. I know.
Dude, we
change that.
Blues are winning. I don't know if we want to change this up.
Yeah, we haven't stuck to this.
Yeah.
All right. That's a good point. We have bounced around a little bit.
I was first last time. So
yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. How silly of me. By the way, Hawaii Blues fan on the YouTube chat. Welcome back, Hawaii Blues fan says, "Holy shit, what is up with these three guys?" So he gets it.
Yeah.
My beer of the episode is an old favorite of mine. I'm sure if you're a St. Louis native, you've probably at least seen this at bars. Schlafly Pale Ale. Good stuff. Just your typical pale ale, but done by Schlafly, which they'll never do incorrectly. So love me some Schlafly. And if you saw my picture on Twitter, Bill, stay away from my beer.
I hope they do a better job producing their beer than you do saying their name.
I always say it wrong, don't I?
You say it the way probably most people do.
Yeah.
Bill.
I for the second week in a row, I'm going with something from Dogfish Head. It's one of the oldest, longest craft brew. They're based out of Delaware.
I like their beer. I hate their name.
Yeah.
I hate it. It makes
it's
me.
an odd name.
It's not an appealing name to I'm gonna drink some Dogfish Head beer. It's just it's funny, but I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, but yeah. So this is, and I'll probably have another one next week. I got one chilling in the fridge that I'm excited about. Looking for a good time to break it out. But this week I'm going with the Palo Santo Marron wood aged brown ale. I tried to say that like
Pierre Maguire
say David Perron.
David Perron, oui.
Yeah, Pierre Maguire, who's from like Schenectady, New York, or whatever. He's not fucking French Canadian. Anyway, it is it's a wood aged brown ale, aged in handmade Palo Santo tanks. This unfiltered, unfettered brown ale is unprecedented blend of roasty, vanilla, and caramel complexities. Agree with it completely. It is a lovely, not see-through color and 12% alcohol by volume. Very caramely, very vanilla-y. I'm a fan of it. If I can find a six, I only picked up a single bottle, and I'm going to go back looking for a six-pack of this. This is good.
It sounds good. I'm bringing back one I had on the show before. The Four Hands chocolate milk stout tiki, the tiki chocolate milk stout, which is their chocolate milk stout that has chocolate, coffee, and coconut, which is pretty good. So pairing is dark chocolate and grilled beef, which I enjoy both of those at the same time. Often.
Whoa.
You marinate your beef in dark chocolate.
The dark chocolate marinade, right?
Yeah, it's,
you know what? If I were to open a restaurant and say I had a sirloin with a dark chocolate marinade, it'd sell like crazy. I know. I guarantee it would.
We could go really dirty with this. This could turn dark very quickly.
I'm not picking up what you're putting down.
Well, I am
too.
All right. That's a ponder humor thing.
If you get it, please email us at
radio@letsgoblues.com.
Which doesn't exist.
It does exist. radio@letsgoblues.com. That is our email address. If you want to send us an email, send us comments, questions, suggestions, pictures, nudes, whatever. The Resolutian in the YouTube chat, Resolutian, first time poster and first time listener. So welcome to the YouTube chat and welcome to the show, sir or lady. Hope you enjoy it. How did you, if you're still listening, how did you hear about the show? I'm kind of curious.
Please.
Well, it clearly wasn't Hipcast.
No, it wasn't through Hipcast. No, that's not. Yeah. Today in Blues history, courtesy of the @SDL Blues History Twitter account, April 30th, 2019 is today's date. April 30th, 1999. Scott Young scored an overtime playoff goal in a 2-1 win versus the Phoenix Coyotes as the Blues fought off elimination and forced Game 6. Larry Pillow was a little excited. The STL Blues History account attached a video of the goal, and Pillow was up in the booth just jumping up and down.
I remember that.
Leary.
And they win Game 7 in double overtime. 1-0.
Yes. Who scored the goal?
Pierre Turgeon. Well, if you go off the
not Rico Pearson, no.
I was gonna say if you go off the first play call, it's Ricard Pearson.
Yeah, it may have been tipped. It may have been deflected.
That was a long topic of conversation for a future episode that we'll have with an Arizona Coyotes writer.
That was a trivia question. Who got? I played the clip, and then I cut it off before Wilson said it may have been tipped or may have been deflected, and I said, "Who got the goal?" Because he called it as a Pearson. 1986. Today's date, 1986. The Blues beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-1 to win their series in 7 games. Eddie Beers, Kevin Lavallee got the game winner with the Blues goals. 2013, April 30th, 2013. Goodbye, good night, game over. That was that game. Alexander Steen scored the first and only shorthanded goal in overtime in St. Louis Blues franchise history. in a 2-1 win versus the LA Kings. One of my favorite Blues moments.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fucking fantastic.
One of those moments that I'll always remember where I was, what I was doing when it happened.
Yep. That's true. And the goodbye, good night, game over was the TV call, but I love the I love the radio call as well. You guys, I played it in the summer show last year a lot. It was Chris Kerber calling for a shorthanded goal.
Yeah.
And then Steen scores one. He says, "How about that for your shorthanded goal?"
Both Brown and Carter led the club with 8 power play goals. The Blues are short-handed goal to win it. Alexander Steen. Goodbye. Good night. Game over.
I love it.
God, so beautiful.
It was a good call too.
Yeah, I mean that was except for Darren Pegg like completely jizzing himself.
Oh my god! Yeah.
The delivery from Kelly, that was probably his finest moment as Blues broadcaster.
The impromptu stuff is always the best. I mean, some of these
So
baseball
much-
calls, because they see stuff, milestones coming, and they have like something scripted. It's always sound scripted. I don't like it.
Right.
It's too good,
Right. I think at that point I was pretty tired of the thank you garbage that he would throw out. And that was like such a redeeming moment for me.
Yeah.
And just it's one of those moments that is going to be in the Blues time capsule forever.
He you heard the story behind what he was doing at the time? Kelly was looking down at his notes. He didn't see the goal. He looked up like right when it happened. Because he figured, okay, he's looking at his notes because they're going to bring it up, and he was looking at something, and then
Because who scores a shorthanded goal?
Yeah, I know. And Panger yelled in his ear, and Steen was actually doing something he should have been doing.
Right.
He would have been caught behind the
pinched,
net.
right.
Yeah, he pinched in deep. But his explanation after the game was that I think he said something about he knew that their guys were tired or going for a change or something, and he thought he could pinch and get away with it. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's what he said, that they were going for a change as well. And so he said, all right, I'm going to go in and I'm going to challenge Johnny Quick. And hey, it worked.
Today's date in history, 1970. Larry Keenan scored the series-winning goal for the Blues versus the Pittsburgh Penguins as the Blues advanced to the Stanley Cup Finals for the third straight year. With no wins to show for it, over 12.
Right. Third straight year and last time and
third last and still not any wins. And you would have think that going into
49
this
fucking years.
You would think that going into that, okay, it's like Blues fans like, okay, this is the third year in a row. We're going to win some games this time. Nope, didn't happen.
Yeah.
I actually have you seen this? Did I show you this?
No.
I have Larry Keenan's money clip.
Oh, it's a money clip
From an Old Timers game.
Oh wow. That's beautiful.
And he drop it on the table.
Jesus, Bill.
Beautiful.
That's great. No, it's a Larry Keenan money clip. It was his gift that he was given for playing in the Old Timers game. What's the year?
79.
79, 80.
That would have been the first year that I went to a game. I did not go to the Old Timers game though.
Right. So he scored a few goals in his career for the Blues, or a couple big ones. 1966. Happy birthday to Jeff Brown, born in this state, 1966, in Ontario, Ottawa, Ontario. So
that's one of my favorite players of all time.
Me too. I love Jeff Brown. He was
I love the way he skated.
And then STL Blues History made a comment on Twitter that he never got enough credit, he didn't think, for how good of an offensive player he was. And I agree. He was fantastic.
Right. No, he was the most underrated because he was so overshadowed by Al McInnes. McInnes was the premier right-handed, hard-shooting defenseman of his day. But Jeff Brown was just, he made the Blues, he gave the Blues that extra something from the point that allowed Brett Hull a little bit more time in the Hull heyday, because everybody knew Hull was going to shoot, but then if they didn't cover Brown, he was going to shoot too.
That'd be a jersey I'd like to have. Like that jersey over there. That's Brown era. I'd get Brown on that jersey in a second.
Yeah.
Not a bad idea. I might have to look into that.
What can Brown do for you?
Yeah. That just sounded.
I'm
weird.
pointing off camera. There's a I got a Ninja Turtle. I've posted a Ninja Turtle before. The Ninja Turtle, the 4 foot tall one, wearing the early '90s, late '80s Blues jersey.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's I've seen I've been out looking for some Blues attire lately, and every place I've gone. I should not be on the radio.
12%.
Yeah, every place I've gone, they've been selling that version of the jersey, whether it's either Hull or blank. And somebody showed up at work recently on because everybody's into the Blues right now, and so every corporation's having a big Blues, wear your Blues attire and jeans if you want to. And a guy showed up wearing a vintage Shanny jersey from that era.
Nice.
And it's yeah.
Did it have the C on it?
It did not have the C. It was not one of those 4 games.
Crappy Goalie says in the YouTube chat that he was at the Steen game, the overtime goal playoffs, and he said he basically blacked out. He was convinced we were about to lose that game, and I agree. I mean overtime, shorthanded, and yeah, it was not.
Yep. Yeah. After, because I mean, I was at the game where Pietrangelo got boarded, and we had a 5-on-3, and LA scored a 5-on-3 shorthanded goal against us. And you just knew LA had our number and they were going to score because they got the power play there. Everything went their way. It's such a beautiful thing.
So we got round 2 versus the Stars. Our last show wrapped up before we knew who the opponent was. We haven't played a game against them. So games 1 through 3. Game 1, Blues won that one 3-2. And it's funny because before this game started, the night before, I had a dream, and I posted this on. I tweeted this out, so I'm not just making this shit up right now. I had a dream the night before that Fabry scored, and the Blues won the game. And I'll be damned. About 6 minutes into this game, Fabry scores his first goal of the playoffs,
and not a strong goal either.
No, not. It was almost like it was just meant to go in.
Yeah, right.
It was all tied to me. I dreamt it, so it had to happen. Bishop was beaten 5-hole on a wrist shot as he came down the right wing. I don't know. I mean, I know that the 5-hole is a weak spot for Bishop because he's just a tall goalie and 5-hole is bigger. But man, I'm not sure what he was doing. Why he wasn't down a little earlier, because Fabry has got nowhere to go with that shot.
Yeah, I mean, from that angle, I mean, geez, that's a routine save for a goalie. His 5-hole was bigger than my sister's. Was that out loud? Good Lord.
Yikes. Lost my thought here. Spezza tied it up later in the first period on a pass across the slot from Klingberg. Spezza one time the pass, and his shot was going wide. I don't know if you guys noticed this. We talked about it. His shot was going well wide. It wasn't even close. Hits Fabry and redirects by Bennington. Kind of a bad break.
Yeah.
So, and then Sarasenko puts the Blues back on top.
I love Vladimir Sarasenko.
Oh, it's happened a couple times.
Yeah, different announcers too.
Yeah, that's so. I get the misspeak. I get it, but it happened twice. I was like, what? Really?
Right.
Brendan
Burke, right, in the first game.
Brendan
Burke was calling it.
Yeah,
and then Kenny Albert did it 2 or 3 times last night. It was just like, God.
Yeah, I think that's going to be my new player name in NHL 19.
Sarasenko.
Sarasenko.
It was a power play goal, face-off win in the O-zone. The puck got moved over to Tarasenko, and he let it rip 5-hole. It's the first 2 goals, 5-hole. Yeah. So Fabry's goal was the first shot of the game. So first shot of the second round.
Blues.
For the Blues, right. First shot of the Blues. The first
Dallas
shot for the Blues.
8 shots, and Bennington stood
right.
stout.
Right.
Yeah, the Blues didn't have a lot of shots after that, right? I mean, they scored that goal, and then they didn't have another shot on goal for at least another 4 or 5 minutes, didn't they?
Yeah, they were for the game was something like, was that the game was 29-20? We only had like 20 shots.
Well, it's the third period was insane. How many Dallas had 17 shots in the third that game. I think that's what you put.
Yeah, that's right. 17 shots.
Yeah, I did put it there. Yeah, 17 shots in the third. We had 14 through 2 periods, 7-7 with 20 for the game. Yeah.
Yeah. But Dallas completely dominated the third period, except we have a goalie.
Yeah, we do have a goalie who doesn't really tend to give up breakaways that much, and actually positionally sound.
Yeah,
and it's just consistently, pretty good.
Pretty good. It's nice to have one of those.
Yeah, and doesn't get down on himself or after a one that maybe he should have had. So,
oh, guys, leave Brent Johnson alone.
Oh, good old smokestack.
Leave him alone. Then Tarasenko kind of schooled Heiskanen and gives the Blues a 3-1 lead in the third. Coming a clearing lob pass by O'Reilly, and Heiskanen he kind of screwed this up. He gathered the lob pass, then tried to move the puck forward. Tarasenko intercepted it, just turnover basically, and then brought it back in and then beat him wide.
Right. Totally suckered him in. With the stutter step move.
Yep. Because that's his move. Right. I mean, he's either going wide or cutting in the middle. So that's kind of, I mean, if you can sell one and deke him on the other side, and fantastic shot over a beautiful chip shot over
execution. Totally anticipated the poke check by Bishop too.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's funny. We're watching this game, and that move he makes, a little stutter step on Heiskanen, and my wife, I look at her and I'm just like, oh God, that move! I love that move, and she's kind of like, really? Is that good of a move? And I'm like, it looks like it's not that hard to do, but it's not. But like you said, it's hard to sell that move. It's hard to make the defenseman bite on a move like that. And Tarasenko is one of the best at it.
Well, it's making the move look like something else. Right. That's like when Lemieux had like 2 moves on a breakaway, and he would come in and he would you didn't know what he was going to do. There were 2 completely different moves, but you didn't know what he was doing until the very last second, and you couldn't react. So you had to guess. And that's the thing. You have a move, you have a couple moves, and if you can disguise one as the other and they don't know, you can smoke them.
Right. Totally just throws off the rhythm of the defenseman, because he's got to decide, is he cutting back to the middle? Is he not? And that one just half second, Tarasenko gets the angle on him and has the power to keep him at bay.
So if Heiskanen is going to do anything, he's going to take a penalty.
Right.
And he didn't take a penalty, which probably should have, I guess, hindsight.
Yeah.
But and then later in the game, third period, Ben scores, pulls the Stars within 1. I didn't like how little this was. I don't think it was talked about as much as I thought it probably should have been. The whole controversy with the whistle being blown, because Binnington makes a save on the Zuccarello breakaway. Then the rebound is put high. It's fed back in front where there's a bit of a scramble. Binnington is on his back and he thinks he has it under him, because who was the defenseman with Bomeister? Put it back. In. Mm-hmm. He slid it back into him, but it didn't get under him. It kind of went to the side, and then Ben puts the puck in, but the whistle had blown right before the puck goes in.
Right. So Chris Rooney was in the process of blowing the whistle when the puck went off of Ben's stick.
Right. Exactly.
And yeah.
And so, but what's the confusing part is that the whistle was blown before it's not a question. The whistle went before the puck went in.
We all heard it.
And then he makes his way behind the goal and then points to the goal to signal a good goal. And I'm thinking, watching him, like, how can you can't stop play and then call a good goal? What are you doing? I'm thinking he realizes, I fucked up and the puck was loose. I'm going to call it a goal. Mm-hmm. You can't do that. You can't do that.
How many? I mean, this was the hot topic. 7-8 years ago? The intent to blow.
Which
he didn't have intent to blow.
I know, and that's still a rule. It was not taken out of the books. The intent to blow the whistle is still a rule. I looked it up. Rule 78.5. Apparently, apparent goals shall be disallowed, quote, when the referee deems the play has been stopped, even if he had not physically had the opportunity to stop play by blowing his whistle. This is not a reviewable play, and therefore the final on-ice decision stands. which is confusing because they review the thing.
Right. And that's the worst part of it to me. Is
I know.
that they did the review. He called it like you're totally right when you said he caught himself, because
that's what happened.
He called it on ice as a goal.
Mhm.
If he doesn't do that, then
Sure.
they invoke the intent to blow.
Right.
And when was the last time you've seen that actually invoked?
Unless he calls up, he says, I didn't mean to blow the whistle.
Mhm.
Maybe that was a conversation.
Well, and that's the thing. I don't so much think that it was a review as it was Toronto wanting to get his have a conversation about it.
Maybe.
Which should
even then
take place.
Even then, he blew the whistle before the puck went in. We've seen goals not count before because the puck was loose and the whistle blows and they hit it in. It doesn't count. They wave it off. It was a mistake. The referee shouldn't have blown the whistle, but he did. I'm not saying the goal. I'm not saying that the referee was correct. He was wrong. But the thing is that by the rules, that goal shouldn't have counted because that he blew the whistle and the play was dead before the puck went in. And review shows that. So I don't understand. And after the game, Berube and both Berube and Montgomery said they weren't sure what the officials were reviewing because they really didn't tell them.
Right. And that's why I think that they weren't really reviewing it as so much as saying
have a conversation.
Yeah.
But
right. What are you thinking, Chris?
But even then, how's the conversation go? Well, I lost sight of the puck and blew the whistle. Okay.
Then
the play's dead. A goal. You're right.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the call on the ice is a goal. So it's gonna stand.
But he's correcting himself on the ice,
right.
Which is what, okay, I got it wrong. I want to make it right, which, okay, I get the idea, but that's not the way it's supposed to go. That's not the rules. I might sound like a bitter fan. I mean, we won the game. It doesn't really matter, but it could have been a difference.
To me, at the end of the day, it was the right call. As much as I disliked it, but it also lends credence to more video review.
Oh yeah, I mean I have video reviews for that. Video reviews for major penalties,
right?
Like especially in the playoffs. If you're going to call a major, a video review to validify your call, because that's a big deal. If you miss a call, you're kicking a guy out for the rest of the game and a 5 minutes penalty. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's the Sharks benefited from that, and Vegas. If there was a review for a major penalty, the whole Vegas and Sharks Game 7 thing, in the third period, we haven't talked about this, have we, on the show?
No.
Personally, that's not a major to me.
No, not at all.
It's 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I think that if they had reviewed that kind of thing, Vegas is in the second round now, and the Sharks aren't.
Yeah, that was one of those that they punished to the injury and not to the infraction.
Right. Because the way that and that's bad. I mean, we've said this before on the show, and I'm totally. I think this is something that more people need to get behind and embrace. That officiating in the NHL is always going to be bad. It's always going to be bad. You cannot fix it. The sport is just the way the sport is. You cannot accurately and efficiently officiate the game perfectly. You can't. You miss too many things. The game is too fast. The way it is, you just miss things. It's the way it is. It's the human element, and you can't get around it. But if you have review for certain things,
yeah. I think it should open it up to more review. I mean, just in general, I think the NHL needs that. I know a lot of people hate how much delay there is, but you can enforce more rules around how long it takes, and if you can't come to a decision, the call on the ice stands. But I don't know. I think it's important. And the other part to this conversation, and I think this is something that would be good to get into in the off season, is if we institute more video replay in the sport, do we need 2 on ice refs? Because how many times have we seen refs interfering with play? Not intentionally, but just because they're expected to be in the midst of play, and how many passes go off their skates.
Yeah, I
take one of them off the ice
and have like an sky referee official.
Yes.
That's okay, because I like the 2 official idea. I mean, the idea because one official on the ice
used to get away with murder.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and so more stuff gets called, and stuff behind the play gets called no more now. So,
But put the second official off the ice and stop cluttering the fucking ice up.
or make the ice surface bigger, and take out the first 3 rows of seats.
Not gonna happen.
So the Blues hold on to win that one 4-3, and go up 1-0 in the series. So that was a good start for the Blues. Even though you could say they were outplayed in that game, which they were. But they won the game, which happened against Winnipeg a few times. They did not have the better to play. They won the game, and so I'm not gonna make a big deal about it because it's playoffs, and I don't give a shit how you win a game. Just advance. I don't give a shit if you advance on a major that should have been a major and you score 4 goals in the power play. Sharks fans don't give a flying whatever that there was a bad call. They moved on. They don't care.
Right. Yeah. To our friends from Teal Town.
Yeah.
We're hoping for a 3rd round rematch.
Oh, I'd love it.
2 years ago.
I'd love it. I like
3 years ago. Sorry.
I like their goaltending for us.
Yeah. Yeah. As long as Bennington doesn't get hurt, because then it's a kind of a perfect head-to-head matchup, Jake Allen versus Marty Jones. Although
you got 10-9 games going there.
Yeah. Well, Kiprios is out of the league, so I mean that's one less guy that's gonna jump on your goalie.
Right.
Prick. So game 2, Stars won this one 4-2. Saturday afternoon game, so you knew we were gonna lose. 3-1 after the first period. I didn't even get to. I for some reason I was working on my computer with some stuff with the podcast, and I missed the first good half hour of the game. I was thinking it was I was thinking evening game for some. I was in mindset evening. Lost track of time. Didn't even occur to me. Ended up looking at my phone at one point, and I see the notification for the Blues Stars game. I'm like, oh fuck, shit. So I missed over half the first period. And
it wasn't that entertaining. You're okay.
No, I went back and watched it, but I mean, they had just went up 3-1.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was an interesting first period.
Yeah.
The just lapses. I mean, you could make the case on this game reminded me a lot of Game 3 against the Jets. Just blown coverage. I thought Pietrangelo was not covering his man well. I think it was the first Rupe Hintz goal. Dunn got caught up. 2-on-1s left and right. Bennington having to spread across to try and make a save and just not having a chance. Just poor defensive coverage, and not just the defensemen, but the forwards. There was no back checking when it was needed, and just an ugly look to the start of the game for the Blues.
Yeah, and everything really came down to the 4-on-4. Dallas got like you said, the first Hintz goal, even strength. And it was Matt Zuccarello was the best player on the ice in this game, and he did a great job setting up Hintz for that goal. But then you get the Tarasenko and Ben matching liners, goes 4-on-4, and the game just opens up. Dunn makes a huge mistake, gets caught. Dallas comes down, scores. We go back the other way. We score. Dallas comes back and scores right away. Just, I mean, that less than 2-minute span, you got 3 goals scored.
Yep.
Completely set the tone for the game. And, it was, unfortunately for the Blues, the tone was sloppiness.
Lots of slop.
Parayko got his first of the playoffs to, at the time, cut the 2-1. And Dallas answered right back with the ever dreaded response goal while your goal is still being announced.
Yeah.
They score on you, which is just ouch. That hurts. It's almost like your goal never even happened.
Yep.
They just took it off the board. It sucks. Now the Schwartz goal that pulled the Blues within 1 in the third period. They reviewed it for goal interference, which I would have reviewed it too.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is that when I saw it, I'm like, this is not goal interference. I mean, this is how I saw it. If you guys disagree, let me know.
It sounds like we agree.
Okay. I mean, I would think so because we're right thinking kind of guys. Stars fans were bitching, wearing their green tinted glasses, bitching during and after the game about being goal interference as Schwartz cut across the top of the crease to tip Parayko's shot over Bishop. And the goal stood. Anyone bitching about this game is an idiot. I mean, the contact was minimal. It didn't affect whether the goal was going in or not. The puck was going in or not, which is a thing now. Which and we've talked about before about the goalie interference and about how we don't know how it's going to be called. I think for the last good while, I think they've kind of figured it out. I have found myself agreeing with the goalie interference review decision a lot. I can't remember the last time I disagreed with one this season or the last half of the season. I think they've kind of figured it out. They allow minimal contact, and they really try and determine if the goal was going to go in anyway. The puck was going to go in anyway.
Right.
Well, and the way that you worded it is right, that it didn't affect the goalie making the save. But to me, the thing that was most important along the same lines, the goal or the contact came after the puck passed the goalie.
Yeah.
You watch the play, Jaden Schwartz which by the way, was beautiful on that play, did everything right on that tip. And you see him touch the knob of the stick after the puck's already sliding past Ben Bishop. Just everything about that for what Jaden Schwartz did, just a wonderful play. And yeah, anyone who disagrees with that is just going to be wearing tinted glasses, because I think everyone else in the NHL would agree that was just everything Schwartz could have done correct to score a goal, big goal there late in the game.
Yeah. I mean, from a goaltender's perspective, you're always going to cry foul. I mean, so this is inadvertent contact with the knob of the stick. When I was playing high school hockey, during some drills, there were a couple of guys that were fond of actually chopping at the knob of my stick.
I've done that
on shots from the point during power play practice. And that's not what happened here. He was trying to cut to the middle.
Yeah.
He got pushed towards the goalie, made inadvertent contact with the knob of the stick. If Bishop's turning, that's on him.
Yeah.
If he is that unbalanced going into that save, that's on Bishop. And the right call was made.
It was inadvertent contact, and it was minimal. It wasn't significant at all. And I think, like I said, the most important thing is that it didn't affect whether the goal was going in or not. So obviously, that's a common sense kind of call.
Right. And I think that's your point, right? They've made common sense impact on the game calls, which is probably where they need to be.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the point of goal interference is to maybe take away goals that shouldn't have went in because the goalie was interfered with and he couldn't make the save, or he was interfered with to the point where he couldn't realistically make the save. And that makes sense to me, and that wasn't the case in this case. Bennington played well in this game. Stopped Ben on a breakaway and then Sagan on the rebound, which was pretty fantastic. That was pretty cool. Bishop held the fort, though. He stopped O'Reilly and Schwartz on point play chances late in the third. Both low shots. This time he took away the 5-hole on those chances. So he learned from his mistakes a bit. Blues got a late power play with under 3 minutes to go. Couldn't do anything with it.
Boy, that was frustrating, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, wasn't it? God, it sucked. You're thinking, okay, was it almost less than 3 minutes to go? So we got a power play, and they couldn't do anything with it. And it was very disappointing. And they pulled their goalie to have a 5-on-3 for a little bit. And then Perron tries to make a move at the blue line with, I don't know, 10 seconds to go.
Yeah, it was less than 7.
Yeah,
because,
and
they turn the puck over and Hintz scores the empty net goal.
Which you were thinking, oh, dump it in. There's 7 seconds to go. Dump it in. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, his best bet was try and carry it in, try and beat somebody, and it didn't work out. So
probably should have tried to chip it off the boards and retrieve it instead of trying to go through 3 guys.
But I mean, there was not much time left.
I should probably save this for the next game we're going to talk about here, even though it's a Blues win. But I noticed a lot in this game, and again in Game 3 a lot too. I found myself thinking, I can see why David Perron was a healthy scratch for the Golden Knights last year. Just and I know last time I mentioned healthy scratch, I was proven totally incorrect. Thank you, Jaden Schwartz. Hopefully, David Perron does the same thing.
He's only leading he's tied for the league and playoff goals right now.
Well, he was dog shit before that, so I'm fine
fixed.
with it. Yeah, he was shit before that, so that's fine.
He was.
Anyway, but anyway, no, at Perron, I mean that late was that game 2 that he took the late offensive zone penalty.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, oh, come on. And then something he does a lot, and he does this in the regular season too, but it doesn't bite him as much, is he'll get the puck in the slot or in a good shooting spot. And I know we talk about Tarasenko never one timing it. Perron does this absolute cradle and shoot move where he pulls it in closer to him and then shoots. And again, he's got a good shot, so that's fine. But when you're in the slot, you need to rip that puppy. And he's not doing that. And it's causing a lot of block shots, a lot of turnovers. It's just poor execution. And again, like almost every time I see that, I say, yeah, I can see why Vegas didn't want him playing last year. Hopefully he turns it around. I'm not saying he's playing terrible. He just makes bad decisions. And that's got to stop, because if he were to stop making bad decisions, he's a hell of a top 6 forward for a playoff team.
The equipment deal with Bishop was in this game.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't have it in the notes here, but it was Doug brought it up in the YouTube chat, which I'm like, oh yeah, well, let's talk about that. That was horse shit.
Yes.
That was, I mean, it had to have been almost 3 minutes they were over there, or at least, 2 to 3 minutes of just.
I can honestly say I've never seen that before.
Me either. And I assume everyone has seen it. Bishop goes over with equipment, something with the bottom of his pad or his skate, and their backup is working on his skate, and he's Bishop's on his knees on the bench. They're working on something, and the official goes over there after. It might have been after like 30 seconds and said, or 45 seconds, and motioned to what's the backup's name?
Khudobin?
Yeah, Khudobin, to come in the game. And I'm thinking Qdoba.
Yeah.
I'm thinking good. They're enforcing the rule. You can't. And Dallas didn't have a timeout here. They burned it on a review and lost on Schwartz's goal. So, and essentially they got an extended timeout here for free. Mm-hmm. Because Bishop came to the bench, and the reason they got it is because the officials were spineless. They should have assessed him a bench minor, for not getting the backup in there. Because I'm not sure what happened, what the conversation was, and because he motioned to get in the game, you could see it, and it never happened, and they were going on for another minute plus just after that. It was just ridiculous.
Well, and I'm fine with it being a starting goalie. I'm fine with it. Maybe with the importance of the playoffs, going a little bit low, stretching it just a tiny bit more.
And not because they didn't have a timeout, and they were.
Well, and I'm fine with it because you would hope that they would do it for your team too. But this was asinine. It was ridiculous. I've never seen a non-timeout last that long for goalie equipment. We see it in a November Tuesday game between the Blue Jackets and the San Jose Sharks. Oh hey, you got 15 seconds to get that pad fixed, and if you're not ready, get your backup out here. I mean, you see it all the time. Like the fact that they just let him stay over there as long as he did without pulling in the backup. Yeah, you're right. That should have been a bench minor.
I mean, it wasn't that long ago that who was it? Luongo in the playoffs in overtime wasn't out there for the start of overtime, and they had to put their backup in because he was in the bathroom.
Yeah.
And so their backup started the overtime. What's going on? And he played for the first few minutes. To me, I'm not being a bitter. This is the fucking rule. It's a rule in the rule book. You don't anything other than a quick equipment thing at the bench and back over to the goal. You're like I've seen all the time. You see the buckle on the helmet on the mask get replaced if it's broke or cracked. It's plastic. You see them replaced all the time. Takes 20, 30 seconds. That's fine. I get that. But not an extensive thing where they having issues and it's 1, 2, 3 minutes. No. No.
Right. It was I think Ingle magazine was tweeting about what it was. It was the toe cradle.
Okay.
And he uses like the most modern version of it, and it can be tricky, but that's why this rule exists, right? To make sure that you get the goalie to, if the goalie is going to have a major equipment malfunction, you don't delay the game.
Right. You get especially when they don't have a timeout. That's what pissed me off, because really they could have said, okay, I'll take my timeout. We'll get the situation fixed with the goalie. And the official comes over and says, hey, if you're going to be over here any longer, you got to use a timeout. But they didn't have one. So they essentially got an extra timeout and longer than a timeout.
We'll let you fix it, but you get a delay of game penalty.
Yeah. Right. That too. The official could do anything he wanted. He could have said, get your backup get out here in the next 15 seconds, or I'm calling a penalty.
I mean, I'm not sure if it was, I think it was the Nashville-Dallas series, actually, that there was an icing, and I want to say it was even Jamie Benn. They lined up for the face-off. Ben got stuck out there, and he's like, oh, wait a minute, my stick, it's broken. I go get another one.
Yeah.
We see that kind of stuff all the time. So what's stopping a goalie from saying, hey, yeah, this my toes screwed up here, but you know what? Take your time. Let the guys get rested. They're not going to call a penalty on us. I mean, what's stopping a goalie from doing that in the future after seeing that?
The Blues were pressing too at that moment. There was a stoppage in play, but the Blues had some chances, and they're down by 1, and he pulls that, and I'm not saying he was faking an equipment issue. It was a real issue, but I mean, the rule is in the books for a reason. And I don't care if it's playoffs. I mean, I get going over there and getting a quick thing taken care of. Like I said, 30 seconds tops, but this was ridiculous. The fans were getting booed. I don't know why it wasn't a bigger deal. It should have been a bigger deal. After this game, let's see, the Dallas tied this game up. They had the empty netter we talked about with Ben, the turnover with Perron at the blue line. With 3 seconds left, game was over anyway. Didn't matter. So series tied at 1. Dallas took home ice advantage away for the time being. And on to game 3, where the Blues won last night's game 4-3 in a very exciting game.
So let me ask real quick, before we get into this. Defensive line changes. There's a couple moves there, right? You saw Gunnarsson come in. Bortuzzo comes in. What'd you guys think of that?
Awful.
Gunnarsson did make that really nice play, that stick lift.
No, Gunnarsson great.
Yeah.
Bortuzzo awful.
Yeah, I mean, even though, he did give us him and Lindell the whole the whole incident with the cross checking,
and that thing, and we can talk about that more later. That may have set the tone for the rest of the series.
Yeah. Oh. Well, there's a microphone. There's a microscope on Lindell now, and he's not going to get any calls. Unless it's a high stick to the face where he's bleeding, he's not getting any calls.
I don't understand how that idiot hasn't gotten a fine.
I know
they fine guys for diving, right? I mean, we've seen it. Why? What the hell? Where's the call on this guy?
4 times, 3 times one play, and the 4th later. When did you guys see the one behind the goal view that showed it?
Yeah,
the best. So in I don't know, maybe he doesn't get fined because Maroon really the last one.
The penalty was losing the game because of your stupidity.
Well, that, but no, I said Maroon, but Bortuzzo after they've already made the penalty call against both of them, Bortuzzo hits him again, and it's the worst of the 3.
Yeah, right.
Yes,
3 initial dives. But
he should have gotten 4 minutes there. I mean, I know that I'm just nitpicking, but I mean, good Lord, you're already calling the dive there. He does it again. I'd say, hey, you're getting another 2 there, buddy. Good Lord. Screw that guy. He quickly jumped up my list of least favorite current players.
Oh,
I mean, he wasn't even on the radar. Now he's like
He's a
top
piece.
15.
He's a piece.
So what is it about guys named Essa that get under your skin?
Yeah.
Right? Essa Tikkanen. He was the best at it. But
He was awesome.
yeah. As I was trying to calm down and go to sleep last night, I'm still scrolling through my phone looking for the perfect meme. And I said, all right, I'm done when I got to when somebody, I forget who it was, posted the Key and Peele soccer diver episode.
Yeah.
For him. Yeah, that was perfect. Live look at Essa Lindell, I think it was.
Schwartz scores again. First period, first goal of the game. Some good work by O'Reilly. Down low, passes to Pareko at the point, and he lets a shot go that Schwartz awkwardly deflects by Bishop. Cool looking deflection, kind of like almost like a hover sauce, kind of a frisbee kind of a deflection.
Yeah,
it was neat. Almost like slow motion. But and then so Pareko has points in all 3 games in the series, and Schwartz is now tied for the league lead in goals in the playoffs with 6.
Not anymore.
Oh, after tonight.
Logan Couture has scored.
Okay, so before tonight's games.
Well, that's impressive considering he didn't score at all in the first 4 games of the playoffs. I mean, that's something.
It is.
And this is kind of exactly what we talked about the Blues needing. Heading into the playoffs with Schwartz, like he was like the guys like, okay, we need Schwartz to kick it up, and him, Fabry, Bozak, Maroon, guys that didn't contribute as much in the regular season as much as they would hope to do. It would be nice if the secondary scoring, the ever important secondary scoring in the playoffs, which is how you win cups, defense and secondary scoring, right?
It's how it kicked in.
Yes.
Who scored last night and who didn't score last night?
Right.
Yeah.
So Radulov ties it up for Dallas, and I think Ben, Radulov, and now I agree with you, Jeff, Lindell. Those 3 guys, my top 3 hated on this team.
Yeah. That's
I've always hated Radulov for the shit he's pulled.
The
whole neckbeard thing going on.
I kept calling him that last night.
Yeah, the Eddie Munster meme that somebody posted today was pretty awesome. Looks just like him. But that pass from Jason Spezza to him was sick.
It was beautiful. It was between Steen and Gunnarsson, I think it was, and the shot was beautiful. I mean, you could tell when he took the shot. He made a point to go upstairs if he could, and because he knew. And Bennington, to his credit, he fucking got over. And if that puck was not put upper glove, he had it. That'd have been. It was a great play, great shot. Nothing Bennington could really do.
He did as much as he could.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He did what he exactly.
Well, and it's I looked at that play when it was going live, and I just shook my head because it's like, come on, 2 blue sticks had the opportunity to get there and they just didn't. But then you got to marvel sometimes. Like when I watch the replay, it's these guys are elite for a reason. I mean, Jason Spezza, he was a healthy scratch earlier in this playoff, and he has not been the player they thought they were getting when they signed him. But he's still a hell of a passer. He's still a guy that can thread the needle, and then when you got a guy like Radulov who can just fire it from anywhere on the ice, that's just a pretty goal. And like you said, the fact that Bennington almost got over that shows his athleticism on the play, and that he's never willing to give up on it, which is what you want in a goalie.
Bozak gave the Blues a 2-1 lead midway through the game. Some real nice work by Dunn to draw covers down low and then pass the puck back out to Thomas, who took a couple strides and took a shot on from the faceoff dot. It squirts through Bishop and came up behind him where Bozak had rolled off his defenseman and was able to poke it in. So that was that and very nice Johnny on the spot kind of goal.
Right. Robbie Thomas doing everything to push that play, make everything happen. I mean, he was the one guy the NBC announcers seemed to be okay talking about for the Blues. He's got an extra jump in his step. I think I heard that 5-6 times. And it was the case. I mean, he really
Is that
was.
AJ?
No, that wasn't one of her
Pierre?
like 12 comments.
Yeah.
No, it was Pierre and Kenny Albert. But he did a great job just stick handling, getting into the zone, making the play happen, getting the shot off, and like you said, Bozak rolling off his defenseman, getting free, and opportune goal as it trickles underneath Bish.
Yep.
Was this the one that it seemed like they didn't know if it went in right away?
No,
this was
that was the maroon goal.
Yeah.
At the end of the game.
Right.
You're right. And the maroon goal, well, we'll get to that, but I knew it was in. I saw. I mean, the camera angle shows it in, but I guess Maroon was kind of screaming at Bishop maybe, and a lot of players weren't kind of sure.
And the ref took 5 seconds.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, fucking call it a goal. It's a goal.
I was gonna say, I mean, from our angle, from the TV angle, it's pretty easy to tell that one went in. But I guess depending on where you're at, maybe you couldn't tell right away.
Right. No, I'm sure Bishop kind of screened Maroon because it went under Bishop's arm. And so he probably didn't see it as much, but the net rippled too, so I didn't see that either.
Yeah.
Bennington made a save on Radulov on a breakaway in the second period. Cogliano had a breakaway set up by Bishop, which I mentioned Gunnarsson's nice play on the stick lift. Beautiful stick lift.
Oh, unbelievable.
So perfect timing. Not taking a penalty with hooking. Perfect.
Right. And again, all of us Blues fans were hard done by the commentating on the NBC feed last night. All they talked about going into that after that play was the pass by Bishop, but that play by Gunnarsson was it's just absolute desperation defense play, and he got it. That may have been the turning point of the game.
Yeah,
not to take a penalty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because if you get to stick up in the gloves, that's a penalty.
Yep.
So that's a hook. But if and not only did he stick lift properly and like a boss, he the puck he kicked with his back skate into the corner out of harm's way.
Right, because it was basically a 2-1-0 that he came back and broke
and
up.
I'm like, not only did you take negate the shot, but you cleared the puck on the corner with your back skate, kind of sweeping it forward. Fantastic.
Man, I mean, the angle, I guess, from the camera, it looked like Cogliano. There was no way he was going to get caught. And then even on the replay, when I think they showed one with the camera behind the net, and even on that one, I'm like, how does Gunnarsson get back there? But it's just again, willingness to not give up on the play. That was phenomenal. Great work by Gunnarsson.
And then Lindell's dives. Lindell dove 3 times while being cross-checked by Bertuzzo in the corner. They were cross-checks. I mean, nothing vicious. They were.
You see that 20 times.
Oh, yeah, right. I know, I agree. I mean, because you hear. I mean, the Dallas fans obviously arguing and saying, "Well, there are cross-checks." Well, yeah, both hands on the stick, and the stick is hitting Lindell in the back, but it's nothing vicious, and if Lindell does not dive, it's not getting called. So, which is interesting, because it's if you're not going to call it, that goes back to the officials not having a spine either. But really, the cross checks weren't violent. Well, the last one was. The last one was kind of he got 2 hands in after the whistle, but that was after the play.
Well, and first of all, I loved Bortuzzo's reaction after the second one. Just throw it. What? Are you kidding me?
Right. I know.
Well, then the third one, it reminded me, you mentioned Kyprios earlier. It reminded me of that because, yeah, he did get a good cross check on him, but the way Lindell fell, watch that again, because his head spins around like he just got punched in the face.
Yeah.
Dude, that would have done nothing to your head. Why are you falling that way?
So did Drago get you on the chin? No, you were cross-checked in the back, but your head goes like this. It's like, what? Okay.
Oh, God, that guy.
He's an asshat.
Yep.
And he got a penalty for it, deservedly so. And of course, your Dallas fans are booing like crazy, which, okay, whatever. Homer fans, but But to actually go off, it's one thing in the arena to boo. Okay, you didn't see it. Maybe they didn't show it on the jumbotron. Maybe they did. I don't know. But to boo it, I get it. Okay, it's you. But to the social media backlash to kind of say, that kind of a number of people saying that it probably shouldn't have been embellishing. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
Right. That was the clearest embellishment that we've seen. I mean, what's the saying? Fool me once,
shame on me. If you fool me, you can't fool again.
Yeah.
But fool me, you can't get fooled again.
Can't be fooled again.
Whatever.
And it's just shocking to me to see that the NHL hasn't said a word about this. I mean,
because you can get fined.
Really,
that's what
there are so many fines throughout the year for this kind of thing, and you're just going to ignore it now when it's in the biggest stage. I mean, everybody saw that.
A fine is easy to do. It's not going to hurt the player that much. It's not going to affect his time on the ice. Fine him and send a message that way, because I mean, 4 times he dove in this game.
Well, that's the thing too, is that I've always heard that, okay, well, fine, maybe he doesn't do much, but at least he gets his name on the books, so he's a repeat offender. If he does it again, like now, none of that. I mean, now Lindell, let's say next year he gets a fine for doing what we saw him do, and they can't claim he's not a repeat offender, so it's just a fine. Hell no, he is definitely a repeat offender.
Here's where the fun starts. I mean, if the fun hadn't started already. Cogliano's goal ties it up in the third period. So Schenn makes a bad pass to Dunn at the point on the power play. So this is the shorthanded goal that kind of just like you would think would kind of be a backbreaker of sorts. 7 minutes to go in the game, results in a 2-1 for Dallas. Janmark and Cogliano. Dunn, I thought, played this terribly. Dunn had a good game. I thought he had a really good game, but I thought he played this 2-1 awful. He goes down to his knees. I don't know why. Takes neither the shooter or the pass, really. He ended up blocking the pass, I guess, but he actually put it on net. And then Bennington makes the save, a nice save on that. And it pinballs back out, hits Dunn, and then Cogliano's there to sweep it in. And it was a kind of Dunn's like he takes himself out of the play. If you're going to go down to block it, lay down. Take away the pass. Yep. Hit you and it stays under you or something. Don't go to your knees. It could bounce off anywhere. I thought it was a bad play.
I don't really know what he was thinking. I mean, there's times where, I mean, I know I've made a poor defensive play on a 2-on-1 or something, and I look at the goalie, hey man, sorry, that's my fault. But going down on your knees, what is that doing? It's not making you bigger. It's not taking away the ice. I mean,
not really. I mean,
you might as well just stay on your feet.
A little he is, but I forgot who was back. Was it Tarasenko or O'Reilly? Was back and actually tried to make a stick check on the shooter on Janmark.
I think it was O'Reilly.
So I mean, there was a guy over there. So it wasn't. I mean, it was a 2-on-1, but it wasn't. There was a guy hustling back. So Dunn really could have faded back towards the and played the pass even more. I don't know.
I think I don't know.
I don't want to overanalyze it, but I thought he played it poorly.
Yeah, I agree. I think my read on it was that he thought he was too close to the goalie to lay down and possibly take the goalie out.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
But then at that point, take out just to go tie up the guy behind you. Right. I mean, I don't know.
Right. It was a bad decision. Puck ping pongs between him and Bennington, and goes right back to Cogliano.
And so after that, Pietrangelo goes upper blocker. Oh my God! Holy shit! I jumped out of my shorts when he blew a slapper by Bishop, upper blocker from the far boards, well outside the circle. Thomas cruised in front of Bishop, created like a moving screen there, but great placement on the shot, and it was kind of fluttering too, knuckling a little bit. So great shot for his first of the playoffs. That was a
I mean, we talked about it last show that this team thrives a lot on their defensemen scoring goals, and you see Colton Parayko finally break through in game 2, and now you see Alex Pietrangelo breaking through in game 3. And I mean, we talk about it, the one timer God, you don't see that enough from the Blues, especially the defense, with how some of these guys can shoot.
Pietrangelo overhandles the puck way too much, and for him to actually, he took multiple one-timers in the third period. It was refreshing to see, and the pass by Jabo was perfectly placed, and it fluttered just enough right as he took the shot, and it was a thing of beauty.
Doug in the YouTube chat says, rewatch the video. It wasn't a bad pass. He was tripped. Shen was tripped by Cosmano. Yeah, the pass coming out of the zone, which on the power play, I guess.
Yeah, could have. Yeah, I saw reading Rutherford's recap today in The Athletic. He talked about that.
Okay,
that it could have, it was potentially a blown penalty call.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, they ended up scoring.
But they pressured us at the point on the power play, and we tried to force a pass through.
And at that that rotation in the power play, we only had one guy high, so that was not good.
Chip it down low.
Right. Then Seguin.
This goal.
Yeah, ties up back up to the Pietrangelo turnover, which
somebody tweeted Alex Pietrangelo giveth and Alex Pietrangelo taketh away.
Yeah, he had a chance to get the puck out. Just makes a bad play to O'Reilly on the boards.
5 feet behind O'Reilly on the boards. O'Reilly has he has no legs. He has no chance. I mean, we've talked about it, how out of gas O'Reilly's looked in the playoffs. You're gonna have to make a better pass to him at this point.
Well, let's face it, 4:15 left in the game. You got a 3-2 lead. Yeah, I see that. Hey, give it to your skill guy, let him skate it up, but just get the puck out of the zone. That's your number one priority. Get it out.
That's How many times do you think Blues fans have yelled at the TVs, get it out?
Yeah.
Fucking get it out. Quit fucking around with it and get it out.
Get out.
Jesus Christ.
Do it. Come on, do it.
Do it now.
Get out.
Stars kept it in. Heiskanen ends up with the puck and passes across the slot to Seguin, who and Bennington was playing the shot. I mean, and Gunnarsson lost his man for a second. Or a half second, a tick, and it's all it took.
One of the most prolific goal scorers in the game right now. It was a really smart play, a really great pass.
Yeah,
fucking Heiskanen is got to be there. Heiskanen and Hintz, two guys you're worried a little bit about Heiskanen and Hintz, not so much, but those guys have been the catalyst, and Zuccarello, that they have been what's kept Dallas in the series.
Yeah, the thing that annoyed me, I mean, we obviously Pietrangelo turned the puck over, and I know that, a turnover like that, it happens so quick and you have to reset your feet. You got to get ready for the play to come back the other way. But man, Gunnarsson he looked lost on that play. I mean, Tyler Seguin is one hell of a player, but man, you got to put a body on him. You got to lift his stick. You could take a penalty, do whatever you can to make sure that puck doesn't get clean to his stick. And man, he looked lost on that play.
I think, well, he was watching the play. He wasn't watching his man. And in that situation, I think you just attack your man. You're trying to protect a 1-goal lead late in the game. And you go after your guy and tie him up, because really it doesn't matter if you block the pass. It shouldn't be your job. You tie the guy up because there's nobody else there. So just tie your guy up. And he was with him, but he didn't stay with him. So and not long. I mean, it was a great pass. So, and then of course, Maroon nets the game winner with a minute 38 left. Maroon gives Lindell a shove, and he goes down like a sack of moldy potatoes at the side of the net. Dives for the 4th time in the game. Which Chris Kerber, have you heard Chris Kerber's call?
I have not.
Oh my gosh,
no, I haven't either.
Well, not on that call. I'm sorry, Chris Kerber's call on the earlier with the 3 dives. He calls him out for diving 3 times, wants to give him a penalty. It's pretty good. He's outraged. So dives for the 4th time in the game, which leaves the front of the net wide open. Which I would love to talk about this for a minute. You dove 3 times earlier in the game. You got called for it. with almost the game is almost the regulation is almost over. Your tie game, your man's maroon in front of the net, and you dive at the side of the net, taking yourself out of the play. So the front of the net's wide open. The puck goes behind the net. Maroon picks it up, curls around, walks in front. There's no one there because Lindell is getting up on the other side of the net, and he puts it under Bishop's blocker arm.
Over the blocker
It
arm.
went under his arm.
Well,
Under his arm, deflected, and went up.
did you read his comment about that today?
About how he practiced going up.
He said, well, through the playoffs,
Yeah.
he's been practicing that because all season he would just muff it and put it into the pads.
Yeah, but he didn't go over his arm.
He went upper blocker.
He tried. He got it off the ice over his pad, but I think it hit hit under his arm, hit the something behind him like his pad, and went up, and it hit I'm pretty sure.
Hey, Ross, Rachel,
Look
you
it up,
guys
look it
stop arguing.
I'm looking at
Look it up
right now.
No, it's man,
Here.
what I loved about that was the fact that you alluded to it. We've seen Pat Maroon make that type of play before and shoot it right into the pads. And let's also face the fact too, with Lindell making the freaking dive there like a sack of potatoes. You're leaving
moldy potatoes. Like the
moldy
second
potatoes.
injury.
Sorry. But no, he Pat, that's where Maroon gets the job done. That's where he's known to score goals. And you're going to leave him there so you can dive and try to get a penalty with 1:30 left in the game and a tie game?
Such a stupid play.
Oh, God, dude. If I get that he's one of their top defensive forwards, but man, if I am Jim Montgomery, I'm considering benching him in the first period next game. I mean, good Lord, you don't do that kind of stuff.
He's Finnish. He's European.
Well, that game sure was finished pretty quick, huh?
I'm gonna. Anybody in the YouTube chat? Did that go? Did Maroon's goal go under the arm or over the arm?
All right, we're going to the slow-mo instant replay.
All right.
So it goes through and up into it. It didn't hit anything. It went through. It went through here,
Mhm.
but hit upper.
It didn't hit anything.
No, didn't hit anything.
Well, he still went under the arm. I'm still right.
We're both right. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
But
here's
also
that he didn't hit that hole. He hit this hole.
right there. Here's also an alternate look at Lindell's play here. So he pushes off on him. It's not a penalty at all.
No,
But
no.
Lindell does reach out to try to cut the puck with his stick as the puck's going behind the net.
Okay.
So it might not be an entirely egregious dive
Okay.
like the previous one.
Okay. All right.
Still a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's very good. Yeah. So the Blues won this game and tie the series up go up in the series 2-1.
Yes.
So and so tomorrow's series becomes an absolutely huge game for both teams. Dallas obviously does not want to go down 3-1, come back to St. Louis, and St. Louis would obviously love to be up 3-1. So even if the Blues lose tomorrow, the Blues still have home ice advantage. Not that that's a huge
Right. Didn't matter to us in the
advantage
first round.
No, but again, like I said, home ice advantage is not really a thing in the playoffs. But if it comes down to Game 7, I just want it to be at home. I'd rather be at home.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be I mean, I'd still be nervous as hell, but I wouldn't be scared of their crowd. So,
Well,
so-
except for that they throw beer and popcorn.
yeah,
at the
right.
bench.
That was horse shit. I mean,
Yeah.
one bad fan giving their fan base a bad name, which
Well, we know it wasn't a Blues fan because they don't let him in the building.
right. Well, they don't let Blues fans from outside their the 3 or 4 states that they allowed them in. It was Texas and Oklahoma and a few others around there. But yeah,
If you talk to people from Texas, they'd probably be pissed that they let Oklahoma people in there. Texas hates Oklahoma.
there were Blues fans there. They just were from those states.
Well, Nashville has the same rule, and there's ways to get around it. I got around it plenty of times.
Just you buy tickets from Ticket Broker and you're fine. Although didn't somebody say no opposing jerseys? Didn't someone say that?
But there were
I think that's against the law. Well, maybe not against the law, but that's horseshit.
Right. The whole thing is for that. If I am paying you money to visit your arena, you are not going to tell me what I can and can't wear.
Right. For a sporting event. It's not a
I'm not there. I'm not a soccer
dinner.
hooligan. I'm not there to incite violence. I am there to support my team.
Right. It's not a black tie affair. There's no dress code. So you're not breaking any dress code in a private property. You should be fine. And Doug says only Ticketmaster is blocked and StubHub did not. Right. To StubHub, SeatGeek, scalpers. That's people act like you can't get into a game. I cannot recall the last time I bought tickets for the Blues through Ticketmaster.
It's been a while.
So I bought tickets today for Friday night. I did not go through Ticketmaster.
Yeah, I don't know why people would. But anyway, we got some social media fails. Well, we got one. Who changed his name today. It's at Washed Up Tendy, who has some interesting takes on goaltending. Bill rolls his eyes. Changed his name to Moron Alert, which I'm not sure what that means. Maybe it's referring to other people. But
I think it's self-identification.
Oh, well, that's what it should be. He tweeted out yesterday, I think after the game. I'm guessing now isn't the time to mention Bennington is 7th, 8th in save percentage with goalies remaining in the playoffs. Has to find a way to be even better. Big saves are key, but it's not enough. This is the same guy that last round said Bennington's numbers in the first round weren't that great. And I had a conversation with him. I said, well, if you take out the 6-goal game, his numbers are fantastic. And he goes, but he played in that game. You can't take him out. I mean, do you understand what small sample size? I mean, he played great in 5 of the 6 games.
Right.
That's really good in a series. And that's really good. So good in 5 of the 6 games. So what do you want? You want him to play perfect every game? Yeah, that's great. That'd be great. But he had a game where
I several times was close to just tweeting at him and tagging Jake Allen saying, Jake, stop using your burner account because fucking A, you're a fanboy. That's all you are. You're a Jake Allen fanboy. He's complimentary of Bennington and other, but it's very strange. You can tell he favors Allen for whatever reason, but he has a podcast too. So he's when fanboys get podcasts, that's the makings of a nice podcast, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mean that's he was the one that do we mention last week? Starting because we no, this was after that. He was the one he came on Twitter and asked, do we see Jake Allen in this series? Yeah. Because, I guess because his numbers were better against the Stars and no, you don't need 2 goalies in the playoffs. That's insane.
He's a goaltender. He plays goal. You'd think he would kind of understand that aspect of goaltending. I don't know.
All right, here's that tweet. Let's let those who aren't on Twitter hear it. He says, "Is this the series we see the Blues utilize both goalies? My breakdown: Bennington made numerous key game-saving saves in round 1, yet stats show he needs to be better. Dallas has been the team Bennington has struggled against the most this season. Allen has solid career numbers." I'm going to go just off his first point there. Bennington made numerous key game-saving saves in round 1. That's all you need to know. Yet stats show he needs to be better. No, he won the series. That's all that matters. I don't care if the goalie's GAA is 5.55 going into the next round. If your team won the series, you're starting that goalie. You don't change a thing.
You cannot get hung up on stats in a short series. You just can't, because one game can throw off your stats like in round one. Right. He had one game without 6 goals, which it threw off his stats for the entire series. It was not indicative of his play across the entire series.
And I was at that game. He was stellar in the first period.
He was always fantastic in the first period.
Head. It was 2 periods where his team let him the fuck down.
And there was one goal maybe he should have had. Maybe. He was really good.
The goal, the first Kyle Connor goal where he went down, he was too deep. He was Jake Allen. He was too deep in the net, went down early.
Right. So yeah, and that's my biggest problem with, and he's been consistent with his views. I'll give him that. He hasn't wavered too much, even though we had a discussion and he conceded that I was right about something. I forgot what it was, which I should have remembered that, because that was a moment. I was like, oh wow, he admitted he was wrong about something. Yeah, like I said, a short series, you cannot just base it's a goal by goal thing. You analyze each goal on whether or not over the course of an entire season. Yeah, numbers kind of dictate and will explain how well you've played, more or less, with the team in front of you factored in. I get it. But in a short series, no, not at all. A 5-game series, if you have one bad game and you win the other 4 and play well, and you're going to tell me that because you allowed 7 goals in one game that your numbers are, your save percentage is below 9, you played shitty. No, you didn't play shitty. You played great. Just the one game where you allowed more goals than the rest of the game and throws everything off, you can't do that. And he doesn't understand that. So I'm sure you'll find out more of those. You'll get more of those views on his podcast. I don't even know what it's called.
Yeah, he doesn't really advertise it that much, so I don't really know.
I don't. Yeah, I've seen it. I saw the artwork is, it's not good, and I listened to a part of it and I couldn't listen to much of it. It wasn't very good. But to each his own. Wow. Maybe you like it.
Wow, listen to you. Take that other podcast.
I'm well, you know what? I'm just being honest. It wasn't for me. Okay. I didn't like the takes at all. So maybe somebody else would. I didn't think they were accurate, but that's just me.
Well, maybe it's for goalies. So Bill, you give it a shot. Our friend in the YouTube chat, Crappy Goalie, give it a shot. Crappy Goalie and Washed Up Tendy, you guys should probably be best friends.
I will admit, after I've had a couple of beers, I confuse them from time to time.
It's almost 11 o'clock. I think I'm going to shut this.
Do you know where your kids are?
It's 11. Dong. It's 11 p.m. Do you know where your kids are?
Well, Douglas Johannes jumps in with our little goalie chat here. He says Grant Fuhr lifetime stats 887, save percentage 338 GA. He is in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I know it was a different era. Just a response I would give someone that is uninformed. Yeah, different era. Hard to really justify that, especially since, again. Well, and again, actually, he does kind of prove my point with that.
Right. And Jordan.
Yeah, he proves my point with that the Oilers were winning Stanley Cups. So do you think at any point, even after Grant gave up 5 or 6 goals in the game, they were like, let's see what the backup has to offer? No, because they're winning. Why would you move it?
That's true. Their backup was Andy Moakes. He was pretty good.
That's true. Where was Bill Ranford at that time?
And
he was developing.
He also kicked his cocaine habit, so good for him. Yeah, that's that should be on his plaque. Stanley Cup, 4-time Stanley Cup winner, beat cocaine. Oh, what else you got, guys? Anything else?
What are we expecting in game
4? Blues have not lost on the road yet in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, so here's the thing that, talking about the game, last night's game and the way this series has gone and the Blues in general in this postseason, the word that I keep going back to is elasticity. This team has more elasticity in it than any other Blues team. Resilience, whatever you want to call it.
In that they bend but don't break.
and they
bounce back.
and they bounce
Yeah.
back. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
It's they
But
are
by their third periods too. Their third periods
Right.
have been fantastic. Coming back, and games they're trailing, they come back and make it close, or they come back and win. Which their third periods in the playoffs, I think they have the most goals in the third period in the playoffs.
They
I think.
do.
So
Yeah.
that's a good period to win
right
in the playoffs.
And I just reading through, like I don't know how many tweets I've started, and I'm like, no, I'm only tweeting the negative. I've got to stop doing this. And you see the all those that have been there for so long, the Mr. Blues hats of the world, who are tweeting, Jesus Christ, here it comes. And then, we bounce back and score. So I don't know. We always say this and we always let it happen, but it's the hope that kills us. But man, just that fact alone, that the Blues are showing resilience and elasticity, it is giving me hope.
Resilience, elasticity, secondary scoring, goaltending.
Stuff that we haven't had in the playoffs ever.
Yeah, I mean, we are 10 Glorias away from winning the Stanley Cup.
That should be the name of the episode.
Still too soon to talk about it.
It is. You need to get to the next round.
Yeah, there was a great tweet. Somebody tweeted out they found a ticket stub from Laura Branigan at Kiel Opera House, 1984.
Wow.
And they tweeted out a picture of it. So
today online, I bought the 45 of Gloria.
Did you?
For like $4.
Nice.
I'm gonna frame it and do something with it. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool just to have.
You said you have a record player?
I don't. I'm not gonna play it. I'm gonna frame it or something on the wall.
You could have her sign it.
Oh, too soon.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Douglas Johannes says, before you all go, I think game 3 is the turning point of the series. The air was let out of their sails in that game. You could tell by the post-game interview of Montgomery. Let's see. Josh Webster says, we won more games in a row this year than games we have left to win a cup.
That's true.
I like that. I like that.
Let's just do it again, right?
Yeah, right. No, very, very good points. I think that if the Blues could come out early tomorrow night and score like, the Schwartz goal, come out, set the tone early, get a goal, put more pressure on Dallas. I think it's going to be huge. Otherwise, I think Dallas is going to dominate the first period. They are going to, as by the 10-minute mark of the first period, I expect Dallas to have the advantage of shots and possession, and they're going to press. And if the
They have
Blues,
to.
Right. And it's their season.
And the Blues do have a bad habit this playoff season of
starting poorly.
Well, almost like they're not sure how to start the game. Almost like they kind of see how the other team is going to come out, and then they adjust.
Right.
That's kind of been their MO. The other team, if the other team wants to, they have seemed to have taken it to the Blues a little bit early in the games.
They allow the other team to dictate the play.
Yeah, and the Blues adjust.
I think that's true with the exception of game 5 game 6 of last round.
The
Blues just dominated every facet of that game, almost entire 60 minutes. And I'd love to see that again, but I think we need to be realistic here and just say, yeah, the Blues are going to probably let Dallas come at them a little bit. And the Blues seem to get better throughout the game. At least the games they win, they get better as the game goes along. And we've seen them have some pretty miraculous wins here in this short span, just because by the end of the third period, they're going full steam.
Have you guys been surprised at Bishop's play?
Yeah, I
little bit.
I expected a lot better. You wonder if I think tomorrow's going to be the telling game. If he can pitch a shutout for them, or at least hold the Blues to one goal.
Shut up.
It's going to be telling. If the Blues do score early on him, I expect the Blues to be able to run up the score a little bit, because I think his confidence has been punctured. How many times have we talked about confidence is so much about goaltending, and he has been on such a roll. He's had all this confidence. Goals like the one Maroon scored to win the game, don't happen on him.
And we could talk about that too. That wasn't a great goal to give up either. It was
No.
No.
It wasn't.
he wasn't square. He didn't challenge. He didn't. I mean, it's hard to do that when a guy's kind of. You think he might try and stuff it, So, but
right, he didn't make a key save at a key time for his team.
No, he didn't.
And
on a shot that
right.
was savable.
Right.
So.
I haven't seen a whole lot of that from him this series, and that's what gives me hope. Binnington, we've seen it. Binnington's been beaten a whole bunch more than we would like, but we've seen the key save at the key time, the breakaways, and
Binnington's been good. I have no complaints with him. I'm not worried about him.
No,
I mean, right now, it's so strange.
Right. It is so strange to
feeling.
not worry about goaltending.
It is. Even if he allows a bad goal, I'm like, not worried.
Right.
Well, what's funny is going into the playoffs, we all even said, what are we most worried about? And I think Curt and I both said goaltending, because you never know. I mean, this kid, he's only, he's still kind of new to the NHL, but as he's gone along, and yes, he's had a 6-goal game against, and yes, he had 3 pretty crazy goals there at the end of the last game to go against him. But he's still playing like the kid that we saw a month ago. I mean, he's so composed all the time, and Blues fans aren't used to that with their goaltending at all.
No, I was thinking back to the conference finals against San Jose a couple of years ago. Sitting there in the building in San Jose, not knowing who was going to get the start and goal in that pivotal game 5.
Yeah.
I mean just like I so totally wanted it to be Brian Elliott, and it was the right call, but Jesus.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you didn't have the confidence.
That's a weird thing. That's got to be such a almost like a confidence booster to the other team to know that the other team is questioning their starting goalie and who they want to play in net, and not have confidence in their guy, that they're going to start the backup. Which, I mean, that usually doesn't work out well for a team in the playoffs if your starter is not up to snuff, or you're considering playing your backup. That's not a good situation for your team to be in. But we've seen in the past where a backup comes in and plays quite well. I mean, Casey came in and played really well when Fear went down. We talked about Fear earlier.
Yeah.
Casey played really well. I mean, he allowed some goals against Detroit, but damn, that game 7, he was really good. And just except for that,
he was,
except for the Eisenman goal.
Yep.
Well, and we've seen it with other teams lately. Even just this season. I mean, granted, it was during the season, but Tampa Bay still went on their roll with Louis Domingue in net. I mean, you can still have solid play in front of a backup goalie, and it really just depends on the team still coming out and playing the game that they've been playing. So yeah, I mean, Jake Allen could come in and Blues still not miss a beat, but you feel that confidence right now in Binnington, and that's what you want in the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, you want a solid backup in case something happens, but every team that has gone through to win the cup, they knew who their starting goalie was by the first round.
Yeah.
And that right now has been Jordan Binnington.
And you said it, in case something happens, injury, or all of a sudden they can't stop a beach ball, that kind of thing. That's when you lean on your backup. You don't decide to start your backup just because he has better numbers against a team going in when you went with the other guy down the stretch, the second half of the season, and in the first round to advance. You just don't make a goaltending change based on that. And if he allows a couple of goals that are questionable or has a bad game, you don't just switch.
Right.
You just don't. Yeah, and that's something you do in the playoffs.
That's why Dallas didn't work a couple of years ago when they played the Blues in 2016. They kept going back and forth between Lettinen and Niemi, even in that one series against the Blues, and you could tell that the defense had no confidence in their goaltending.
Well, they had issues with goaltending all season. That was their thing.
Right.
That was their deal.
And that's what they didn't have going into the playoffs.
Right. Now they do, but
Bishop had the better numbers coming into this series,
sure, but
we've gotten the better of him.
Yeah, and that's why in playoff numbers, I mean, over the entire playoff run, you might get a better idea. But like I said, short series, yeah, I mean, numbers can fluctuate so much, but from game to game, it's just you can't do that. You have to watch the games. You just have to watch them. You can't.
And for those that want to question whether you should start a different goalie just because of his stats against that team or whatever, think of it this way. Do you think anyone in Dallas has questioned whether Ben Bishop should be starting this series? No way. And if you are, you're insane, because Ben Bishop has proven before to be a good playoff goaltender, and he's a Vezina Trophy finalist. So just because Jake Allen has better numbers against the team, you think the team's sitting there going, should we start Jake instead? No, that's not how it works in the playoffs. You have one guy that's your starter, and like Curt said, if he starts giving up beach balls or he gets hurt, then you put in the other guy. But before that, no, you don't. It's just not how it works.
That is not how it works. Not even close. It never has. I'm not sure where that philosophy comes from. It has never been that way. And if it has, it doesn't work.
Yeah, that was another work. That was another argument on Twitter with not to keep picking on the guy, but Washed Up Tendy, when Curt and I kind of were questioning, like, dude, why would you even ask who's going to get the start here? And his response was, the Cup teams like, Pittsburgh and Chicago, and I'm like, wait a minute, okay, that's a false narrative, because Pittsburgh, Matt Murray was hurt that second year. They had to start somebody else.
And Chicago, Crawford played like ass.
Right.
And that's why what's his face got the start.
Darling.
Yeah. That was the situation. It wasn't they didn't go to him because they thought that was the better play that game based on other things. It was based on injuries and really shitty play. And that's
right, which hasn't been the case here.
Exactly. You're not gonna. We haven't seen even close to that.
Yeah, it's if you want to look at it overall stats, like for the I think he said the Blackhawks too. The Scott Darling year. If you want to just look at the stats and without knowing the context and saying, oh, well, see, look, they started Scott Darling 4 games. Well, that's not really fair, because
Darling was the darling against the Predators,
and Darling was good.
He was great.
Yeah.
And guess what? Once he started losing, they put their starter right back in the net.
Right.
And he started winning.
Yes. Doug in the chat says that he thinks Bishop is hurt when his leg got caught behind him. I thought it looked like it hurt him at the time because his head went back, and he kind of looked at, maybe he's hurt because Bishop gets hurt so easy. He's like a rag doll. But I thought the saves he made after that, he looked just fine.
Yeah. There was the one play after that where he was kind of awkward. Like he got really low in his stance. And
I saw that.
A little bit, but he caught himself and he didn't seem to wince or anything. I think as a goalie that's been in that situation, you get your knee just bends the wrong way,
and it hurts.
It hurts. You're expecting to feel like you're like, oh god, is there a pop?
Right.
And there's not the pop.
Right.
And
any athlete who's played a sport for any length of time has probably gotten hurt, but not hurt badly. It hurts at the time. You might limp for a little bit, but it's fine. You're not.
I sit on my bed wrong these days, and I'm like, oh god, did I tear something to my knee? Yeah, it hurts, but it goes away.
At one time, I was just practicing, just skating by myself. I didn't have any shin guards on or anything. I was hauling ass, and I lost an edge going behind the goal, and I went down, and my knee was the first thing to hit the bottom of the boards. Oh my god! I thought I shattered my kneecap. I thought I messed up for a while, and 10 minutes later, I was fine. It just hurt like a bitch for a little bit, and I'm like, "Fuck!" It's scary. It was real scary.
I've had the same thing with. So I broke an ankle once actually playing, and just a couple weeks after coming back, I fell in the same exact kind of motion. I felt a pop, and I heard the cracking of the bone, and I thought, oh god, no, I did it again, and I jumped up. I wasn't even putting weight on it. I'm like, that's it. I'm done. And 5 minutes later, I start to take my skate off. And I'm like, wait a minute, I'm going to try skating on this. Started skating on it. No problem. It was just bruised. I mean, it's crazy. But yeah, you get that first feeling and you say, oh God, this is it. This is it. I'm done. I'm not going to play again for 6 months.
Yep. Oh, a friend of ours, Frank, tore his ACL playing goal not too long ago. So that
Oh yeah,
he was actually hurt,
Right.
and he actually
Required
missed
surgery.
surgery and some major rehab time. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
have you met Frank, Jeff? Because he was going to play in that tournament that time.
yeah. I know Frank. Frank's a
Okay.
good dude.
Yeah. Frank's a nice guy.
Well, crappy goalie. He's hurt right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Frank follows the show too. A little bit every now and then I see a comment. Not too often though.
Yeah.
He has a podcast of his own.
He does.
Does he?
He
Really?
does. The Dopey Dudes.
Really?
If you want to look it up, they talk about they talk a little. I think they talk running and movies and just like general life stuff they are interested in.
Huh?
I think some hockey too. So
There are some really good shows out there like that.
just like every day, like just shooting the shit stuff. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
if
of cool.
it's people you relate to, it's great listens.
Yep, they talk comics and movies and Marvel stuff and DC stuff. I think. So, yeah, I've checked out their show a few times. I know
Yeah,
he's
Goalie.
big into it too.
Crappy goalie says in the chat here, "Ugh, that pop sucks." And yeah, he knows he is out right now with a torn ACL himself.
Yeah.
I've never had that. I've been lucky. Oh, actually, you know what? I strained ligaments in my knee one time. I didn't tear them, and strained ones. Oh fuck, that hurts too. That puts you out for a while.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah, I was lucky. The worst injury I ever suffered playing hockey, apart from concussion.
But
Yeah.
from who? You weren't playing though.
Multiple times. Multiple
Okay,
times
all
I've
right.
had concussions, but
the
only
one I gave you was sitting on the bench.
yeah, I had a pulled hamstring,
Mm.
and it was a preseason playoff game or preseason just kind of friendly match between my midget hockey team and our coach's senior men's league team. And I came out to challenge the coach who thought he could get a breakaway on me and threw out a kick save. And felt that pop. And couldn't walk for a couple of days. Was on crutches and missed about a month.
Nice.
But that's, I mean, I never tore a ligament,
Yeah,
never
that's-
broke a bone, but yeah, get me playing basketball and I'll break a finger every fucking time.
When I strained ligaments in my knee, I actually scored a goal in the play. As a shot from the point, I was in front of the goal. I tipped it by the goalie, and actually I was knocked down. I was before the shot. I was cross-checked down, got up. I went down on my knee, got up, thought everything was fine, didn't feel any pain. Tipped the shot, went in, skated to the bench, picked up my leg to go over the boards. The knee that went down when I cross-checked. Something happened when I went down and cross-checked, went down my knee. I picked the leg up, and as soon as my skate left the surface, I was it hurt like a bitch. I knew right away. I'm like, guys, I'm done for this game. I can't. Went to the doctor, and they said it was probably strained ligaments, and they said just rest. And I played the next week. I didn't miss a game, but it hurt like I couldn't squat fully for like a good 3 or 4 months.
It's funny how you think back to your early 20s, at least for me, and I think about all the injuries I had. And I remember just like multiple times talking to people at work, and I'd be limping, and oh man, what's wrong with you? Oh, I'm having a problem with my knee, but I'm just gonna play through it.
Yep.
And you think, play through it? What? What? Why are you playing through it in a rec league?
Are you getting paid to play?
Right.
Yeah.
You're still on your parents' insurance at this point, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
I think that was a major turning point in my life, in my decision making.
Yep.
When I ran a half marathon in Baton Rouge, I had actually, I'm sorry, in St. Louis. That was a St. Louis one. I don't know how many miles in it was. I had my knee started, my T-band on the side of my knee started really getting problems, and it was sore as hell to run. And I walked for like a mile, and I started to run again. It's hurting. I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna run through it. I don't care if it hurts. I don't care. I'll just keep running. And it seemed to work for a while because I think it kind of just got numb, and I got used to the pain, which after the race was a fucking terrible idea. I couldn't hardly walk for a fean days. Going up steps was almost impossible. It was so painful. So yeah,
I did that on a what was it, the marathon relay that they had here in St. Louis for for go. I remember I had the last leg of the race. I think it was like 7 miles or something. And
Did you run it this year?
I didn't do it this year. No.
Okay. Last year?
Last year I did do it. But this was, I think, 2 or 3 years ago. And I was having some pretty serious bouts with plantar fasciitis. Still do. It's a bitch. And yeah, I remember I about halfway through, I thought I started feeling it. I'm like, oh God, just push through it. Just push through it. Just push through it. And I did. And to the point where, like you said, it got numb. And I'm like, okay, I'm good now. And by the time the race was over, my feet were throbbing so bad. I literally had to take my shoes off. And I just sat on the curb for an hour before I even moved. It was horrible.
If you ran it 2 years ago, I ran the half that year.
Oh, you did?
And go St. Louis, yeah.
Oh, we should have talked.
Did we about it? Maybe you ran it the year before.
We probably did. I don't know. Let's go back to that show and listen.
That would have come up, I think. Let's see. Anything else, guys? Predictions for tomorrow? Did we predict? We kind of did a little bit. I like the Blues in this series. I think they're the better team. I think Dallas has played well. Overall, they haven't gotten the goaltending, which we talked about that the Blues have. So I like our chances. I like the way the Blues have played. I think that I'm not sure if it's a good or a bad thing that we really haven't seen the Blues play their game consistently yet in this series from start to finish.
No.
Which I'm not sure if it's a bad thing where maybe they won't, or if it's a good thing and that it will come. So if you're an optimist or a pessimist, I guess.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think either team's played their best, but
Right.
I think the Blues have done a better job of really isolating the Dallas top line throughout the series. And as long as they don't let Zuccarello and Hintz dominate play like they did in game 2, they should be okay. And don't let up on the shutting down Jamie Benn. I mean, he's got a couple of goals, but I think they've done a good job of not letting him take games over.
Do you guys have a preference? I mean, San Jose goes back up.
What a goal. Logan Couture again.
Couture.
8th goal.
Who do you guys, who would you rather, if the Blues were to advance, not to look ahead, fans can do this though, players shouldn't. Who would you rather face, San Jose or Colorado?
San Jose. I want a revenge factor.
That's why I went to Nashville in the first round. But
I want Colorado.
Do you?
I can see San Jose pulling it together against the Blues. I think the Blues stand a better chance, and plus there's some revenge there too from last year. That's not Colorado.
That's true.
Yeah,
I think I'd rather have Colorado, but for reasons you stated, I think I agree with that.
San Jose if Logan Couture gets injured, because man, he looks unstoppable right now.
So we got a couple. I know I can't find the exact one, but I know our friend Doug Johannes in the YouTube chat said he's calling Blues in 5. They're going to take the next 2. So let's hope he's correct there.
Friday night.
I know crappy goalie. I know he had something in here. Game 4 is where you stab them through the eye into their brain, right? Let's hope you're right, Mr. Armstrong.
Nice. I think that'll do it for this week's show. Unless we have any tweets here, we do not that we haven't already addressed. Okay. That'll do it for this week's show. Everybody enjoy tomorrow night's game. I know I will.
Try to keep positive.
Stay positive. Yes.
And hopefully you're hearing this right now because our podcast host hasn't gone down on you.
Yeah.
Unlike JB Bed.
Don't.
There it is.
Obligatory joke.
Man. That'll do it for this week's show. For Jeff Ponder and Bill Day, I'm Curt Price. That will conclude this week's broadcast of Let's Go Blues Radio. Until next time, everyone. Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
It's all Ben's fault. Let's go Blues.
The Chiefs are at home tonight against Cyanosport at the War Memorial at 8. Good seats are still available.
A look at fourth.
I think that went very well.
Thank you for listening to Let's Go Blues Radio. Now take off, hosers.
Well, there's 90 minutes of your life you'll never get back. Sorry.
St. Louis Blues, St. Louis Blues. Have you heard the news about our St. Louis Blues? They've only just begun, they're on their way to number one. Now there's no more blues for our St. Louis Blues. The Blues are on the ice tonight again.